This is Investor Ideas at CoinAgenda 2016 in Las Vegas, a conference for both mainstream investors new to Bitcoin as well as the experienced investors in digital currency. This track session features Paul Puey, CEO of Airbitz. He announces at the event that they just launched the first ever U.S. equity crowdfunding campaign accepting Bitcoins on WeFunder.com. His company ended up winning Best Ramp Up and Best of Show.
Hello everybody, my name is Paul Puey. I'm CEO and co-founder of Airbitz, and Airbitz is a single sign-on security platform for blockchain applications. So, before we talk about single sign-on or security, let's just talk about keys and blockchains. So every single blockchain, whether it be public or private or a hybrid, they all require keys, and what the keys do is they authenticate to the blockchain. They're the ones that allow an entity, an individual, to prove that they own the value that is actually on that blockchain. So they're actually the most valuable piece of data with respect to securing data onto the blockchain. But what's the challenge with keys, and what have we introduced into the ecosystem with the blockchain? Is actually that private keys are incredibly unfamiliar to the average end user. They're pretty intimidating, and most of all, they're very, very unforgiving. So this is a screenshot of an app that requires you to back up private keys, and it requires the user to know this 15 character encryption key and then save a PDF from their phone. So very intimidating and definitely unfamiliar. And if you lose either piece, password or PDF, then you're screwed. Another app requires you, and this is a very common thing, to write down 12 words, put it on a piece of paper, and then put it in a safe. This is really common in the Bitcoin space, and it's something that some blockchain applications are trying to do as well in the Ethereum space, but still also very unfamiliar to users and also very unforgiving. And this is kind of what I call the cream of the crop, and I feel almost embarrassed because this is one of our launch partners, and they require you to take this blob of data at the very bottom of having created your password when you quote-unquote log in, take that blob and save it, in addition to the password that you've created, which actually encrypts this blob, and make sure you don't forget either one of them. You cannot change your password, this becomes your username, believe it or not. So this is a user experience very common in the blockchain world, and if we fundamentally think that we're going to drive blockchain adoption, do we really think that this is the user experience that we can drive for every blockchain app? Very unforgiving, and each one is significantly different. Every app is a different, terrible user experience. And so what effectively happens to the end user is, this is what they look at when they look at the blockchain ecosystem. It's like, what the hell are you trying to do to me? I want something familiar, something that I'm used to doing. And this is effectively where some of our models start to come in. So what's another option? Well, we can centralize the keys. We can just put them on a server and trust another entity to secure those keys for us, and we authenticate to that server with kind of your conventional Coinbase-like username and password. But we have to trust third parties. There's many weak points to attack, and we've seen the results of doing exactly that. Once we put the keys in a central authority, well, we have the hacks. All the exchanges, the hosted wallets, keeps going on, and even outside of the blockchain space, companies like Home Depot losing a whole bunch of credit card information, the hacks happen left and right. So to us, that's not an option, especially in the blockchain space outside of Bitcoin, doing Ethereum, smart contracts, and whatnot. So the solution that we have is what we call edge security, meaning don't take the keys, don't put them on a central server, but secure them on the devices first before the keys ever leave or touch the network. Encrypt them on the user's device, and only make it such that only the users have the ability to unlock that encryption. Give them a high-powered vault. And the beauty of this model versus a centralized model is that it increases the difficulty to attack the system, but more importantly, it actually reduces the reward. Because now attackers have to hack each device one by one by one by one, as opposed to just breaking into a central system and getting everything. And so what we've built is a platform that can get embedded into any blockchain app, and it does automatic encryption of the keys, it does automatic backup of the keys, it automatically synchronizes the keys between devices so they feel like they're logging into a cloud infrastructure. It has revision control and data rollback, so arbitrary data that can be written into our platform can actually be rolled back in case there's a mistaken entry. We have what we call one-touch two-factor. It's two-factor that's very easy to enable and doesn't require a third-party application or text message. And the great last bullet point is we're the only platform that has password recovery of encrypted data. That's, for the most part, non-existent. So when I talk about the forgiving capability of a platform, how forgiving it is, this is what we've been putting so much focus on, is zero knowledge, fully encrypted, yet password recoverable data. And all of that with the familiarity of just simply logging in with a username and password. And how we are extending this platform that really makes it both sticky and very easy to use is what we just launched today called Edge Login. And you can download it in the Airbitz app today, the latest update. And it lets you use the Airbitz wallet, which we've deployed for the past 2 years, as a mechanism to authenticate into other blockchain apps. So you scan a barcode and log into multiple apps, any app that supports our SDK.